I think that we are now well prepared to go into more practical details on how to deal with this heritage and economy theme. So I would like to move to theme one of our today's discussions, which is about heritage during the financial crisis, whether it is luxury or necessity. So I would like to invite our first speaker of this session, Dr. Christopher Young, Head of the World Heritage and International Policy for English Heritage in the United Kingdom.
You might need it later. First, can I say how pleased I am to have been invited to speak today, and also how pleased I am to be in Wrocław for a second time in my life. The last time was about 5 years ago. I am not an economist. I come to this as a cultural heritage specialist who started life as a historian and then turned into an archaeologist. So you could say I have a thoroughly confused identity. We've heard much already of what can be done to use the heritage sustainably and the importance of that, but I think my starting point is that first we need to have cultural heritage to use. New heritage is being recognized all the time, as we saw in the first presentation with modern architecture of the 60s and the 70s and later. But paradoxically, heritage which is lost for all time because you can't replace buildings. As one of my former colleagues said, there are no longer any pairs of breeding hill forts left in the United Kingdom to produce new baby hill forts. Once one's gone, it's lost. So that if you lose a piece of heritage, a building or whatever, you can't necessarily replace it. Second point, I think, is that hard facts are very hard to come by as to what is happening to heritage generally. And what I want to do in this presentation is to draw largely on English experience and the figures that we have collected to look at what is happening in one part of the United Kingdom. And I emphasize, particularly with Noel as the rapporteur, that I am referring only to England because the 3 countries in the world where English heritage is not allowed to work are Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Anywhere else, we are welcome to go if we're invited, but not across the border within the United Kingdom. So I'm talking about English experience in particular. The first point to make, I think, is that heritage consistently remains very popular. The surveys we do show very high approval rates for it, 90% plus, and rather more to the point, 70% of the adult population visited at least one heritage site in 2010-11, which is rather more than have been to Premier League football matches over the same period. And you can see too that out of a population of 52 million in England, the National Trust has a membership of 3.7 million, and even English Heritage has 750,000 members, again showing a fairly high degree of willingness to be involved. Now, why should this be? Heritage has all sorts of values, and we've heard some of them already